Long ago, in a land where the sun kissed the rivers and mountains breathed in the clouds, there was a powerful kingdom ruled by a man named Obadele. His name was carved into stone, sung in village songs, and feared across enemy lands. Obadele was wise, fierce in battle, and wealthy beyond imagination. Gold flowed through his palace like water. But beneath his strong gaze and proud robes lived a quiet, unspoken fear, the fear of death. Despite his power, King Obadele would often sit alone at night, staring into the flames of the palace fire, whispering to himself, "What use is power if I must return to the dust like all men?" He had seen great warriors fall. He had buried queens. And though he never showed weakness, his soul trembled with each setting sun. He wanted to rule forever, to escape the curse of time. And in his obsession, he began to call upon the old priests, the forest witches, and even the river spirits, begging them for a way to live beyond death. One night, during a storm that shook the walls of the palace, a stranger appeared. No one saw him enter. He was tall, draped in a black robe covered with red cowries and ancient bones. His eyes glowed like hot coals, and in his hand, he carried a gourd sealed with rope and symbols. He walked past the guards, who were frozen in place, and stood before the king without bowing. "I have heard your whispers, King Obadele," he said, his voice like thunder muffled in a cave. "You want to escape death. I bring an offer." The king waved away his guards and leaned forward. "Speak." The man smiled, showing sharp blackened teeth. "You may live forever. You will remain king for all eternity. No illness, no blade, no time shall ever touch you." "But..." Obadele raised an eyebrow. "But what?" "You must give your soul to the ancestors of shadow. And you must vow to never show love. Not to a woman. Not to your child. Not to your people. If love touches your heart, even for a moment, the curse will break and you will lose everything." Obadele, without hesitation, said, "I accept." From that night on, Obadele stopped aging. While other kings died, he ruled on. Decades passed. Then centuries. His face stayed youthful, but his eyes turned cold. His people praised him, but feared him. He never married again. He never laughed. He never cried. Statues were built in his name, but the villages grew silent under his rule. Where once he brought joy, now he brought fear. He had traded his soul, and now ruled without love. One year, a terrible war broke out on the kingdom's border. Villages burned. Crops were stolen. Refugees flooded the capital. Among them was a little girl, no more than 7, named Nyima. Her parents had been killed. She was barefoot, thin, and carried only a small doll made of cloth. Somehow, she wandered into the palace grounds, past the guards, and into the king's garden. There, she sat beneath the old tree and began to cry. Obadele, passing through the garden, saw her. For a moment, he felt nothing. But then, something shifted. The way she held her doll reminded him of his daughter, the one he had lost before making the deal. Nyima looked up, eyes full of pain but not fear. "Are you the king?" she asked. He nodded. "I'm hungry," she said. Something in Obadele's chest cracked, something that hadn't moved in centuries. That night, he ordered food for her. Then he let her stay in the palace. She began to follow him, speak to him, even smile at him. And the king began to smile back. But the shadows noticed. That night, the air grew colder. Thunder growled, though no clouds could be seen. The black-robed man returned, this time inside the king's chambers. "You have broken the vow," he hissed. Obadele rose. "She is a child. I've done no wrong. You showed love. That is the only crime. And now, your soul belongs to the dark." In a blink, the palace walls cracked. Winds roared. The sky turned red. Obadele screamed as his body began to wither and age, centuries catching up in seconds. His skin cracked like dry bark. His eyes hollowed. His crown fell and turned to dust. The ground beneath the palace shook and swallowed the throne. His guards fled. His name was erased from memory. Only Nyima remained, hidden behind the garden tree. Years later, Nyima became a storyteller. She wandered across villages, telling the tale of the king who lived forever, but lost everything because he refused to love. Some say she carried the king's last tear in a small gourd. Others say she was protected by the ancestors themselves. But all agreed on one thing. Power gained without love is a curse. And even the greatest kings fall when their hearts turn to stone. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so more people can feel the magic of African folktales.